For most of scientific history, death awareness was considered a uniquely human trait. Animals, we assumed, simply did not understand what death meant. But over the last 20 years, that assumption has collapsed under the weight of evidence. The question is no longer whether some animals grasp death. The question is how deeply they understand it. To understand death, an animal needs more than fear of danger. It needs a concept of permanence. The idea that a companion who is gone will never return. It needs to recognize that a living, moving individual has become a non-living, non-moving object. That distinction is far harder for a brain to make than it sounds. In 2016, researchers in Africa documented something extraordinary. When a matriarch elephant died, members of 3 separate elephant families came to visit her body. They touched her with their trunks. They smelled her remains. One researcher recorded a matriarch standing guard over a dead companion for nearly a week, refusing to leave, even to eat or drink. Dr. Karen McComb's research found something precise. Elephants showed far greater interest in the bones of their own species compared to the bones of other animals, and within that, they paid special attention to skulls and tusks, the very features that make one elephant individually recognizable from another. This was not generalized curiosity, this was recognition. Elephants possess von Economo neurons, specialized brain cells once thought to exist only in humans, great apes, and some whales. These neurons are linked to social awareness, empathy, and self-recognition. An elephant's temporal lobe, the brain region tied to memory, is proportionally larger than a human's. That may explain why elephants return to the same death sites for years. Crows gather in what biologists call funerals, assemblies of dozens of birds around a deceased member of their species. They call loudly. Some researchers believe this serves 2 purposes at once, expressing distress and warning the rest of the flock about potential danger in that location. Magpies go further still. They have been observed placing twigs and leaves beside their dead. Crows are already known for remembering individual human faces for years. That same long memory appears to extend to death. A crow that witnesses the death of a flock member at a specific location will often avoid that location afterward, sometimes for a very long time. The bird is not simply reacting, it is encoding a memory and acting on it. In 2018, an orca named Tahlequah carried her dead calf through the waters of the Pacific Northwest for 17 days. She would not let the body sink. Dolphins have been documented doing something similar, supporting a dead calf at the surface as if trying to help it breathe one more time. These are not brief reflexive moments. They unfold over days, sometimes weeks. Orcas and dolphins live in tightly bonded social groups, and their large brains contain the same von Economo neurons found in elephants and great apes. The ocean makes mourning physically difficult. Bodies sink, currents pull, time is short. Yet, these animals have found ways to express what looks unmistakably like grief, despite every physical obstacle working against them. Chimpanzees and gorillas have repeatedly been observed carrying dead infants for days, sometimes weeks, long after any survival reason for doing so has passed. Mother chimpanzees have been seen grooming the bodies of their deceased infants. Other group members sometimes approach quietly, touch the body gently, and then withdraw, a pattern researchers describe as remarkably close to a vigil. These behaviors do not prove that chimpanzees understand death exactly as humans do, but the persistence, the gentleness, and the eventual letting go all suggest something is being processed internally, something that goes well beyond instinct. Our closest evolutionary relatives appear to sit on a spectrum of death awareness, not outside it entirely. In 2024, a study found that cats grieve the deaths of companion animals, including dogs they had lived alongside. Grieving cats showed reduced appetite, increased sleep, and decreased play. These findings challenge a long-standing assumption that cats are emotionally detached. Dogs, long known for deep attachment to their humans, show measurable distress and behavioral changes after losing a companion animal or owner. In widely shared footage, a mother cow attempted to position her own body between farm workers and her stillborn calf, a clear, deliberate act of protection toward a calf that could no longer be harmed. The behavior prompted serious discussion among researchers about emotional capacity in farm animals long assumed to have none. Scientists are quick to caution against overinterpretation. A behavior that looks like grief is not automatically proof of human-like understanding, but Three specific patterns make pure instinct an unsatisfying explanation: selectivity toward familiar individuals, behavior that persists long after any survival benefit, and the real energetic cost some animals pay to keep mourning. The hardware appears to be shared. Von Economo neurons, once believed unique to humans, exist in elephants, great apes, and several whale and dolphin species. These cells are tied directly to social awareness and empathy. Whatever grief actually feels like inside an animal's mind, the biological foundation for feeling something is unmistakably present. The honest answer is layered. Most animals show no detectable response to death at all, and that tells us something too. But a specific group of species, elephants, great apes, corvids, cetaceans, and it now seems some farm and companion animals, show behavior that is selective, costly, and remarkably persistent. That combination is difficult to explain as anything other than a real working understanding of loss. This is not simply a curious scientific footnote. It reshapes how we think about conservation, about the ethics of captivity, and about the emotional cost we ask certain animals to bear. If grief is real for them, then so is the loss we cause when we are careless with their families, their companions, and their lives.